Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A 91-year-old East Wenatchee woman is uninjured but left without access to her apartment after she drove her car into the outer wall of her building on Baker Avenue yesterday. The Eastmont School District has announced the launch of a strategic plan initiative to create a shared vision for student achievement within the district. A major winter storm is upon us with rain, snow, and much cooler temperatures expected through this weekend. East Wenatchee police say a worker was injured early this morning in the construction zone along Grant Road near Eastmont Avenue. Assistant Police Chief Eric Hampton told NCWLIFE News that the worker suffered an apparent broken leg about 6:15 a.m. when he became pinned by a piece of concrete. The worker is 56 years old and was taken for treatment at Confluence Health Hospital. The exact cause of the accident is under investigation. Hampton said the State Department of Labor and Industries was on the scene today to conduct a review. The $6 million construction project has limited traffic on Grant Road, and intermittent lane closures will continue into early November. A 20-year-old Orondo man allegedly precipitated a standoff with multiple police agencies Sunday night. Leonardo Cervantes Ramirez faces possible charges of intimidating a public servant and obstructing police. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say they were summoned late Sunday to a home in Monitor where Cervantes was allegedly harassing and threatening a former girlfriend and her partner. When police arrived, they say Cervantes indicated that he was armed and urged deputies to shoot him. Officers from the Washington State Patrol and the Wenatchee Police Department also responded and spent an hour talking with Cervantes until he surrendered when he was found to be unarmed. He remains held in the Chelan County Jail. Criminal charges are pending. A 91-year-old East Wenatchee woman is uninjured but left without access to her apartment after she drove her car into the outer wall of her building in the 900 block of Baker Avenue. Police say the accident happened about 3:10 p.m. yesterday when the driver accidentally accelerated while parking her 2008 Mercury Sabre and crashed into the lower floor of her two-story apartment building. The woman was not hurt, but the crash led the East Wenatchee Building Department to declare the structure unsafe until it can be fully inspected. Both the driver and her upstairs neighbor were forced to spend the night elsewhere. Police say the precise cause of the crash is still being investigated, but it's not likely the woman will be ticketed. A closely watched international child custody case unfolded today in Wenatchee, the hometown of a mother seeking to keep her young daughter from being returned to Saudi Arabia. Bethany Al-Hadri won a major victory in 2021 when Chelan County Judge Kristen Ferreira ruled that Saudi Arabia's treatment of women as second-class citizens invalidated a Saudi court order to return the child to her father's family. In a traveling hearing today in the Wenatchee High School auditorium, the Wenatchee Court of Appeals heard argument from the father that the ruling violates federal child custody law. It'll be months before the appeals court makes a decision.
The question in the case is whether Washington courts have jurisdiction over the custody dispute. The controlling statute reads that Saudi Arabia, not Washington courts, should decide the dispute unless Bethany can show one of two things. Saudi Arabia's child custody laws violate fundamental principles of human rights, or that Saudi Arabia law would subject Bethany to punishment by death for her religious beliefs or lack of religious beliefs.
Does the child custody law of Saudi Arabia violate fundamental principles of human rights? Was that the question that the trial court answered? Is that what happened here? I don't think so. The Saudi Arabian custody order was a consent order. It was agreed to. Indeed, the consent order called for joint custody of Z. That is contrary to Saudi law in and of itself.
Are you challenging the trial court's findings about Saudi Arabian law, or is your argument just this was a consent decree and it wasn't governed by Saudi Arabian law? Or have you challenged the findings?
I'm not challenging the findings. There's substantial evidence to support them. The trial court made its credibility determination on the declarations, no testimony. Mr. Al-Hadari wasn't there, and no, I am not challenging.
There were findings about Saudi Arabian law that you've not challenged then?
No, the law is what it is.
Okay. So isn't it, apart from the terms of the custody agreement, Saudi Arabian guardianship law would still apply, right?
Supposedly.
Well, it would or wouldn't?
It would.
Your client signed a consent decree. Why is it to be unfair if we enforce that consent decree?
There are two reasons why it's unfair. The first is that the consent decree was a product of the discriminatory child custody proceedings that came before it. Those proceedings placed Bethany under duress and left her with no choice but to accept the agreement that had been forced upon her.
Why was she left with no choice?
Because by the end of the process, she had been stripped of her parental rights by Judge Tuaziri because she was, quote, new to Islam, a foreigner, and continues to embrace the cultures and traditions of her upbringing. She had tried to appeal, but her appeal had never been heard, and the case had been sent back. The head of the personal status court had intervened and told her that if she did not settle, that she would play no role in her child's life whatsoever.
When we come back, after Chelan County opened its own facility to collect household hazardous waste, neighboring Douglas County is now getting in on the act, and the Washington State Hospital Association is introducing Team Birth to 15 hospitals across the state, including Confluence Health Hospital Central Campus. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Abby's has been around the Pacific Northwest for generations. Yep, our parking lot used to have phone booths, and this amazing hair was considered to be in style. You know what hasn't changed in the past 59 years? Our recipes, hand-rolled dough, and toppings to the edge. That's what makes us legendary. It's back, baby. You asked for it, and Abby's listened.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Cheddar.
Yep, this amazing pizza is on sale for a very limited time. Hurry in or order at abbys.com. Your taste buds and family will thank you.
Years after Chelan County opened its own facility to collect household hazardous waste, neighboring Douglas County is now getting in on the act. County commissioners and staff on Monday visited the site of a planned waste collection near East Wenatchee and ceremonially broke ground on the project. Household hazardous waste include things like motor oils, pesticides, fuels, and paints, for which Douglas County previously hasn't operated a centralized collection point. Construction is in the early stages, but the center is expected to open next year. Coming up next, NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins continues his conversation with the two candidates for Wenatchee mayor in tonight's features story. Unseasonably cold weather with a chance for rain and snow tonight and Wednesday with a winter weather advisory going into effect later tonight. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Brian Campbell, and I'd be honored to be Wenatchee's next great mayor. I've been called to utilize my collaborative leadership style and broad-based background in finance, public safety, Wenatchee City Council, and community service to unite our small town as one Wenatchee. During our conversations, you've been telling me that you're concerned about the rising crime, cost of living, affordable housing, and homelessness. As mayor, I will be your voice, and we'll work together to implement common sense solutions to these problems.
Paid for by Brian Campbell for mayor.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Castle Rock International is the Northwest's premier real estate agency for large acreage properties, farms and ranch land, lodging and resorts, waterfront properties, and commercial real estate. Professional, knowledgeable, and discreet, award-winning Castle Rock International has the listings and the highly qualified buyers you have been looking for. Contact John McNamara at Castle Rock International today, or visit their website for more information about this outstanding local company.
In tonight's features story, every politician comes with baggage, and NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins has spent several hours over the last few weeks helping them unpack. You can see all those interviews airing through Election Day right here on our channel, plus extended versions on ncwlife.com. When it came to their turn in our studio, Wenatchee's two candidates for mayor had to answer for some of the choices they've made in their campaigns and their professional careers.
Well, Mike, in your professional job, you're an insurance agent. And in 2020, you entered a consent decree with the Office of the Insurance Commissioner, and you were fined $3,000 for unilaterally switching clients' homeowners' policies from one insurance company to another without their knowledge or consent. That's according to the language of the consent decree. What happened?
I believe even to this day I was doing what's best for the customer. One company was struggling on paying a certain claim that I believe should have been paid, and I didn't want to represent that company. I didn't think it was best for our customers, so I was trying to move those customers over to the other customers. There was never any lapse in coverage. They all signed, anytime somebody gets transferred over, they always sign the application. And it was just, it was a funny deal. It was a funny deal, but then result, I know I was doing the right thing for the customer. One customer says, "Hey, I didn't get this letter. I didn't get a phone call." And I could not prove that I didn't call him. So, that one customer is actually still with me. He actually switched to the other company after it was explained, and I'm the one that encouraged him to call the insurance commissioner, because I says, I believe we did everything correct and accurate, but please call the insurance commissioner. So to me, that's transparency. I encourage this person to call the insurance commissioner.
You then had to open up your practices to the insurance commissioner's office and say, this is how it happened, and these are the steps we took or should have taken.
Yes.
Dominic Bonney, a local investigative reporter, in his blog this week disclosed a photo that you posted on Facebook with a Wenatchee Valley Fire Department response vehicle. According to Dominic's reporting, the department says they asked you not to use that photo for campaign purposes, but you were wearing a campaign pin and you posted the photograph to your Facebook. Was posting the photo the right decision when you'd been asked not to?
I showed up at the fire station to take pictures from the outside. My photographer thought it'd be really cool to have a picture of the fire trucks in the bay. I said, you can't do that. And he was kind of, kind of persistent about, well, why not? Didn't understand the rules. And I thought, okay, I'll get him the answer that he needs to hear. So I said, okay, you go ahead. Because he said, can I ask him? Can I ask him? I said, okay, go ahead. So we went and asked him, and of course they came out and said, we can't be perceived as supporting any particular candidate. We have to remain neutral. And they, according to the revised Code of Washington, the RCW, they cannot, use their apparatus or any of their products in the advertising. So no problem. I knew that was the case. I knew the law, I think, better than they did. So we went back outside, and they said, well, let's just get a picture by the SUV. That's a whole different thing. And then we weren't told not to do that. So, I mean, they're tying the two things together, but they're not the same. Took that picture and posted it. There's no problem with that. It's not an issue. And I'm not in violation of the RCW. The RCW is specifically written so that somebody, once they are in a public office or an elected official, that they can't use their department, their facilities, their resources in order to back their candidacy. I'm not an elected official, I'm not a public official, and therefore there is no reason that I can't use that picture.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. Boy, much cooler temperatures out there today. We talked about it yesterday, and it was definitely cooler. A lot of clouds beginning to move in as well, and that's the beginning of that major winter storm that's heading our direction. This is our Omi Garden Sky-Fi Tower camera looking back at the Wenatchee Valley, and you can see those clouds, and they're getting a little bit lower, which indicates that we will probably see some moisture, and I'll let you know when coming up here in a bit. But cold morning temperatures, we're expecting that. Rain and snow tonight and Wednesday, and then it is going to cool down, especially as we get into the end of the week. Definitely the coldest temperatures of the season so far. A widespread hard freeze. We are talking lows in some areas in the upper teens. I don't think we will be quite that cold, but we will surely see some 20-degree overnight lows as we move forward. Prepare for snow. Yeah, I think we're going to see it. I think the grassy areas, we could have snow on the ground as you make that morning commute tomorrow. We're talking Tuesday night into Wednesday night. Winter weather advisory goes into effect at 11 p.m. tonight, and that will go through Wednesday until 11 p.m. tomorrow night. And boy, we're talking a big chunk of our viewing area, the east slopes of the Cascades, Waterville Plateau, and yes, we are also included in that here in the Wenatchee Valley. More on that here in a second, but check out this high temperature today. 48. If you remember, we were at 63 for a high temperature yesterday, so a big drop in those temperatures. 56 is our normal, and our record 69 degrees, and that was set back in 1992. 37 this morning, one of the coldest overnight lows we've seen in months. 38 is where we should be, so that's actually normal, if you can believe that, for this time of year. A record cold 29 back in 1983. Did pick up a trace of precipitation, a little spit of rain earlier today. We're going to stay at 3.91, but expect that to go up as we get together again tomorrow night. Sunrise 7:32 and sun sets at 5:57. All right, temperatures as we get you into Wednesday. Cooler than today even. 43 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 42 for Quincy, 41 our high temperature in Wenatchee tomorrow. That goes for Eniat, 42 in Chelan, and only 37 for the afternoon high temperature if you are heading up to Lake Wenatchee tomorrow, which I expect could get maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. The reason, this area of low pressure that's right on the edge of Washington State, the Pacific and the border of western Washington, we have the potential tonight to pick up a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain, and that's before we even wake up in the morning. And then as we get into Wednesday, we're going to see some of that leftover rain and snow all over our area. That's your morning commute, the slide we just saw. The afternoon, a little bit better, but we're going to be cold, as we mentioned. High temperatures only around that 40-degree mark. For Thursday, get ready for maybe a little morning fog as you head out the door. Mostly cloudy skies then in the afternoon. Still going to stay cool. High temperatures only around 40, and we're lucky because a lot of that cooler air is to our east in Montana, where highs will only be in the upper teens and lower 20s. For Friday, mostly sunny. Yeah, the sun will return, but we're going to continue with a very cool northwesterly flow of air. High temperatures on Friday, only in those low 40s, heading to Eastmont for the big football game. Bundle up Friday night. Saturday, kicking off our weekend. Once again, look at all of the clear skies. It's just not going to be that warm, though, with cold air in place. Highs Saturday to kick off our weekend into the mid-40s. And then for Sunday, not much change to end our weekend. Still cool, sunny skies. Highs again only in the mid-40s, and getting into Monday to kick off our next work week. Not much difference in our weather forecast. Going to stay unseasonably cool. We could see some high clouds as we get into the afternoon on Monday, and it's going to remain cool. Once again, high temperatures only in those mid-40s. All right, taking a look at your 7-day forecast. 35 overnight tonight, 41. Very good chance of rain turning into snow overnight tonight, so be aware of that as you make that commute tomorrow morning. Little fog on Thursday and 41, mostly cloudy in the afternoon. And then lots of sunshine. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just not that warm. Low 40s to mid 40s. Look at those low temperatures, mainly into the mid 20s. And by the time we get to Monday, some high clouds out there, still cool with a high temperature of 44. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if only you had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties, Mary Maids, let us help.
Get your favorite beverage and a wide variety of food choices all under one big roof at the Tap Room in Pybus. The Tap Room has the most popular choices for lunch and dinner in the Valley. With unique appetizers, salads, sandwiches, and tasty rice bowls, everybody will find a new favorite dish. Plus many craft beers from Hellbent Brewing, or you can choose wine, cider, or a delightful craft cocktail. Experience the family-friendly Tap Room at Pybus for yourself. It's just what you've been looking for. D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee provides financial services for independent-minded clients working to secure their futures. Whether it's helping construct your personal financial, retirement, or estate plan, they start with a disciplined approach and straightforward advice. An individualized approach is rooted in the values, stability, and strength their company was founded on in 1935. With offices coast to coast and personal attention you deserve right here in the Wenatchee Valley, learn more about D.A. Davidson.
The Texas Rangers are headed to the World Series for the first time since 2011. Texas manhandled Houston at Minute Maid Park last night, winning Game 7 of the American League Championship Series 11-4. Adolis Garcia was named the series MVP after going 4 for 5 in the game with 2 home runs and 5 RBI. This will be manager Bruce Bochy's 4th team he's taken to the Fall Classic.
All right, fellas, real quick. First of all, I'm going to tell you what an honor and privilege it is. Man, it's an incredible team with so much heart and determination. Came in here against all odds. You went in Tampa, you went in Baltimore. I can't say I've ever seen more heart. So thanks, and I'm going to add this. Congrats on wearing the horns in Texas and going to the World Series.
The Rangers have not played so well at home this season, but will have home field advantage when the World Series starts on Friday. Well, they'll have to wait to find out after tonight whom they'll play in the championship after Arizona forced Game 7 in the NLCS yesterday with a 5-1 win over Philadelphia. The Diamondbacks got back-to-back home runs from Tommy Pham and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in the first inning to quiet the Philly fans. Game 7 is underway right now on TBS. The good news for the Seahawks is that they won Sunday to improve to 4-2, and the Niners lost last night to Minnesota to fall to 5-2. The bad news is that they'll be without edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu for the rest of the season. Coach Pete Carroll confirmed Monday that Nwosu suffered a pectoral muscle injury during Sunday's win over the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's got a pec injury that's going to probably require surgery. Yeah. That's what we're hearing right now.
So that long-term thing then? Or?
Yeah. Well, we got to count on the rotation. We've had a rotation going the whole time, and we'll just continue that. It challenges it though. Chenna's a fantastic football player and a great team member. He's such a tough guy and such a heady player and so consistent. He's always really physical, so he always sends the right message and all that. We really will miss him.
Carroll says they'll probably not make any roster moves if Nwosu is out for the season and lean on others to fill his role. Geno Smith threw 2 touchdown passes in Sunday's 20-10 win over Arizona. He also threw a costly interception deep in Cardinals territory. Coach Carroll was asked about that interception on Monday.
The interception should never have happened, but let me go this way. I thought Geno played a great game. He completed 75% of his passes and terrific rating to a couple of great touchdowns. Had some big plays in the game. The couple of scramble shots that he had, the great throw that he had to Noah. Ran for a first down, which was great. The best thing that happened for us yesterday offensively, we were converting third downs. We hit 7 out of 13, and G was all over those. He scrambled to get one of them and hit a bunch of other ones, that's just a change in the rhythm of our style, and it's something that we got to capture it because we're capable. We got the guys that can run the routes. We protected well. He can throw it. It's just been a bit of a mystery for us to be behind the numbers like in third down. So this is what we should do. So I'm hoping that we can keep that going. I think Geno had a really good game coming off the other game, which there was some scrutiny, and he took some heat and all that. And he's not going to be happy with his game unless it's perfect, so. But the throw on the sidelines, we just got that's one he can't make, and he knows that.
Seattle hosts Cleveland Sunday at 1:05 on Fox. Well, the Kraken began a 4-game road trip tonight in Detroit. Seattle will try to turn a poor 2-7 start to the NHL season at Little Caesars Arena against the Red Wings. Game will be broadcast on Root Sports Northwest. In fact, just getting underway. The Wenatchee Wild will try to make it 3 wins in a row in Western Hockey League play tonight. After wins over Vancouver and Brandon last weekend, Wenatchee hosts Kamloops. The Blazers come to town to the Town Toyota Center tonight. They'll drop the puck at 6 o'clock. Get tickets at WenatcheeWild.com. If you can't attend, you can listen for the game with Austin Andrade on the radio at 560 KPQ. Well, there was one prep volleyball game played Monday in North Central Washington. Tonasket swept 3 sets from Oroville in B-League play. Coming up tonight, Bridgeport visits Okanagan, while Oroville hosts Lake Roosevelt. Manson visits Brewster. Central Washington 1B District Tournament gets underway in Waterville. The Easton takes on Cascade Christian in the first game. That'll be followed by Thorpe and Pateras coming up at 7 o'clock. Tournament continues Thursday at Waterville and Eniat. Ephrata visits Grandview at 6:30 tonight, while Chelan's hosting Omak for the larger schools. Also tonight, Wenatchee visits Moses Lake, while Eastmont is hosting West Valley. Turning to prep girls soccer, the schedule got underway earlier today with Chelan hosting Omak, Brewster visiting Okanagan, and Tonasket taking on Bridgeport. Manson plays at Liberty Bell, Ephrata visiting Grandview, Pateras plays at Lake Roosevelt, Wenatchee's hosting Moses Lake, Quincy visiting Cashmere, Eastmont plays at West Valley tonight at 7 o'clock. Well, Wenatchee celebrates its seniors tonight when the Panthers host Moses Lake in Big 9 girls soccer. Game time has been moved up to 6 o'clock in the Apple Bowl, so we'll stream it live on our Facebook page. The game will be broadcast on TV tonight at 7:30 with Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen on the play-by-play. Well, Friday's matchup between number 1 Moses Lake and number 3 Eastmont will be a game of run versus pass. The Wildcats' Gunnar Peterson is averaging 164 yards per game and has 1,318 yards total, 11 touchdowns to lead Eastmont to an 8-0 record. Meanwhile, Maverick quarterback Brady J has passed for 2,600 yards and 43 touchdowns this season, averaging 325 yards per game. The teams are set to meet for the regular season Big Nine title on Friday at Wildcat Stadium in East Wenatchee. NCWLIFE will have the coverage with Grant, Brandon, and yours truly with our pregame show getting underway at 6:30. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.